we've seen a good recovery, in fact, when it comes to the private banking space, because Bank Nifty will be seeing closing gains in today's session, whereas Nifty will be just mildly in the red. Let's head across to Neeraj to find out how exactly the closing is panning out just a day before the union budget.
Yeah, well, Navneet, you said it all. I think the Nifty Bank really the one which is the saving grace. Otherwise, we would have ended 0.5% lower for sure. The market breadth, though, I assure you, will be terrible. I don't think the mid caps and the small caps have recovered meaningfully. Just bring up the BSE mid cap or the NSE mid cap and the small cap indices as well, and you will see the pain points continue there. The mid cap end of the market was down about, some bit of recovery there too. It's down 2%, it's now down about 1.5%, but clearly pain points out here for the broader end of the spectrum as well. Let's bring up what's happening to all of the key stocks. Even Stevens, you would argue on the Sensex 30 in terms of the breadth, but a fair bit of losers from the pharma pack. Though let me start with the gainers first. Kotak Bank about 1.5%, Reliance 1.25%, HDFC the heavyweight about 1.25% as well. So the HDFC twins have contributed meaningfully to try and hold the index up, as have some of the other private banks like Yes Bank and ICICI Bank. But look at the losers. Tata Steel X Rights down 9%. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, I would presume the likes of Lupin, etc., which may not be a part of the Sensex, are down too. And some bit of weakness that has come into L&T ahead of the numbers. So that one is down about 0.5%. But doesn't take away the fact that banks helped salvage some of the lost sheen in the session today. Though that's not all. I think while we're looking at the large caps in this way, the mid caps, Navneet, as I said, while a bit of a recovery, but not too convincing.
Well, that's right, Neeraj. No respite when it comes to the broader markets. And in fact, the market breadth will tell you that. We'll just pull up the NSE stats. But this is the intraday chart of Nifty. Just look at this chart. We did see a mild bit of recovery post the opening session at 9:15. Any sort of higher level got sold into, which is telling you there was shorting which took place at higher levels. And during the session, it was a seesaw. But towards the end, the recovery which you're seeing is solely because of the recovery which was seen in a couple of the private banking counters with the likes of ICICI Bank. In fact, HDFC Bank is also closing the day in the green. In fact, ICICI Bank will just be coming out with its numbers in a while. Let's just pull up the contributors list. This is actually the advanced decline ratio. As bad as it can look, in the last 3 to 4 sessions, it has been in favor of the declines. And today also, it was 1:2 when it comes to these stats. Well, these three are the private banking counters which is contributed. Another company which has a good weightage on Nifty of almost 7%, and Reliance Industries contributing nearly 11 points to Nifty's movement today. But when you look at the losers list, Tata Steel, I think we can discount this. This has gone X-right, so we should not really count the kind of movement which we've seen here. But these are the heavyweights: Infi, ITC, HUL, all of them closing in the red. Let's just pull up the turnover today and see what sort of participation was seen just a day before the budget. And there you go. Mild bit of increase when it comes to the NSE F&O side. Last 2 days we were hovering somewhere between 2.5 or 3.5 lakh crore of turnover, but today just slightly below the average turnover of 5 which we usually get to see. But the NSE cash turnover has once again gone up from 34 yesterday to about 37,400 today, and the BSE cash turnover has been on the higher side, nearly 6,000 crore. Before I go and take closing thoughts from our guest, I just want to pull up the India Volatility Index. Remember, this was a key concern until few days back, but surprisingly, just before the event only, we've seen India cooling off. Yesterday it was down 8%, and today also it's closing with cuts of 2.5% below the mark of 16.